Good morning, good evening, or hello, boys, girls, or third genders. I am here to show you some new artwork on cycle frames, and if you are new on my channel, my name is Martin and I'm a German artist and designer, and I like to show you what I did during the last weeks. I created a new theme bike and I call it New York theme bike. A client came to me and asked me if I can do that New York stuff on his bike frame, and I said, yes, let's do this, that's a good idea. He wanted Marilyn on the top tube, the Statue of Liberty on the seattube, and also the Empire State Building on his bike. So I did a lot of digital art during the last weeks and I transferred it to his cycle frame. And if you are interested in such an artwork and in cycling, stay tuned and I show you all the steps and the details needed to create such an artwork on a bike frame. I will change to the paint booth and to my studio downstairs and take you with me to show you these steps, and see you there. I have to remove the old paint job on the frame and fork before I can start with my new New York paint job. And that's very easy because this paint job is not high quality. It's made in Germany by AX Lightness and they use the combination of a vinyl tape, a vinyl foil with a semi-gloss clear coat, and that's not a good idea because in summer the frame can heat up to 40 degrees Celsius and the vinyl tape gets soft like a chewing gum and the clear coat stays hard as it is, and so the clear coat can crack and the foil peels off, and that is what's happened to the frame. The logo is peeled off after 1 year of use. So I have to remove all the vinyl tape and also the clear coat because I'm not really sure if the clear coat sticks to the frame and I want to do a high quality paint job. So I have to remove all the old stuff, primer the frame again, and then I can start with my custom painting. I will use a heat gun, heat up the foil, and then I can peel it off very easy. Here you can see how easy it is to remove the original foil of the frame. And underneath I have the pure carbon fiber and the clear coat peels off also on the edges. Maybe you can see it here. So I have to remove the whole clear coat as well. Look at this mess, you can peel the clear coat off very easy. It's not durable, so I have to remove the complete coating to be sure that I have a surface where I can apply a primer first and then a clear coat. There's no primer underneath, nothing, only this clear coat, and it peels off so easy. So I have to remove the complete coating. This takes 3 to 4 hours and then I can start to prime the frame, prep it again, and then I can apply my custom painting. Yesterday I spent some hours with prep work and to prime the frame, and now it's ready for the custom painting and I decided to start inward. That means I will paint the logo color first and the background and frame color at last. This is a huge project with a lot of difficulty and I'm not really sure how I will do this. I will start at one end and then I will check if it is the right order or if I have to change something in the process. But now I will start with the logo color at first and And I can mask these logos and start with some more graphic elements. The logo color is applied to the frame and the fork, a nice gold, and I cut a lot of logos and also a nice pattern. You have seen this pattern and it took me hours to create it and to remove the foil around the graphic elements. It's a kind of Louis Vuitton style, but with dollar signs and also with question marks. This sheet is for the fork and I have another sheet for the top tube. I cut also the logos for the frame, the original AX Lightness logos as a tribute to the original AX Lightness frames, some more Art Nouveau floral elements and also a tag for the chainstays. This idea came from the customer of this frame. He wishes in speed we trust on the chainstays and I will add it of course to the frame. I started with the fork. You can see these floral elements on the inside of the fork. I added also a THM logo to the crown, and now I will do the same with the frame. I'm in the booth and the frame and fork are prepped for the next color, a nice green, and that's what I'm spraying now. That's the result after I've sprayed the green. I removed the stencils from the logos and the graphic elements, and you can see the nice gold. The next step is to mask the frame and fork again with some slightly bigger stencils to create a green outline, and I will use also the dollar sign and question mark pattern for the inside of the fork and the top tube. And that will be the biggest change of the frame because I will spray the background in frame color after I've sticked on all these new stencils. And that's what I'm doing now, so let's go ahead with the custom painting. I have applied all the stencils on the frame and fork, also the nice pattern, you can see it on the inside of this fork. And what I did also is I mixed another green. It's only some shades darker than the one I have already on the frame and fork. And I loaded this green in my little airbrush. And now I can start with the airbrush artwork. And if you remember the complete artwork I showed you at the beginning of this video, you will notice that I also need dark blue for the outside of the fork, but I will start with the green I loaded in my gun, will spray the pattern, remove all the little pattern stencils to complete the pattern, and then I will mask these areas again also on the frame. And after I have masked these areas, I can start with the body work and the body color of the frame and fork. But at first, let's start with the green and the pattern. Time for the next color, the blue. I masked all the pattern areas on the inside of the fork and also on the top tube of the frame and mixed a kind of night blue. I will apply this blue first and as a second color a kind of midnight black, and when all these body colors are sprayed on the frame and fork, I can apply more graphic elements such as the Statue of Liberty and Marilyn Monroe on the top tube. I'm spraying some shades of blue on the frame as I did on the fork, and then I will change to the black and add also some black areas on this frame. I'm back from the paint booth, and as you can see I added some nice fades to the frame and also a kind of horizon on the down tube from light yellow to midnight blue, and I will use this horizon as the background of the Empire State Building I will add later. What I have to do now is I have to add some stars to my midnight blue to create a kind of sky, a midnight sky, and I will use another airbrush to do so. And I will spray some little stars on the frame. Next step on my New York theme bike is to apply some graphics to the frame. I will apply the Statue of Liberty on the seattube, the Empire State Building on the down tube, and also Marilyn Monroe on the top tube. But I don't want to spray these graphics because they are very detailed, and I'm also a digital artist, so I used my notebook and the graphic software to create these graphic elements. And I like to show you how I transfer them direct to the frame. After I created the pictures and the graphics, I printed them on a decal. This is a decal, not a vinyl sticker. It's a very thin layer of lacquer, and I printed direct on this thin layer of lacquer. And it's water-based, so I can put this sheet into water and transfer it as a wet transfer direct to the frame, and that's what I want to do now. I have a box with some water in it, and I will put this decal into the box of water. I have to wait 5 to 10 minutes and then I can do the transfer. And I like to show you how I transfer the Empire State Building to the frame. Let's take a closer look into the box. And as you can see, it's not a vinyl sticker, it's only a thin layer of lacquer. And I have to wait another 5 minutes until it peels off from the back paper. And when all the lacquer is peeled off, I can transfer it to the frame. I can slide it onto the frame. And this is only some micrometers thin, so I get a smooth surface also with these decals on my frame. And I have no edge between the color and the decal, and that's what I want. So let's wait another 5 minutes and then I try to transfer this sheet to the frame. As you can see, I gave the skyline a silver background color, and I choose the silver because it's sparkling like the frame, like all the colors on the frame, and my graphic is transparent, so this sparkling silver shines through the graphic and gives also all the houses in the Empire State Building this sparkling effect. I have to wait some more minutes and then I can transfer the graphic to this silver background. The decals are not all graphics I have to add to the frame. I masked the decal area of the buildings with another stencil. And currently I'm spraying this nice sunset with a mellow yellow and a bloody orange. And when I sprayed the sunset, I will add also some little clouds and some stars, and when all these graphic elements are sprayed on the frame, I can remove my stencil and this area is ready for some finish and for another layer of clear coat. Let's talk about the transferred graphics, especially Marilyn Monroe, and how I create them. I searched through the web for a good reference of Marilyn and found this black and white picture, but that's not what I wanted for the bike. For the bike I wanted a kind of pencil style graphic, very colorful and artistic, and I like to show you how to turn this picture in such a pencil graphic. I use Photoshop as the software to do so, but I don't want to show you the complete details. It takes too long in this video to paint the complete graphic. I want to give you only a rough insight in my procedure. I like to show you the layers I use, the parts of graphic elements I use, so you have a rough idea how to create such a graphic and such a Marilyn illustration. If you want to know more about digital art, you can find a lot of videos on YouTube that show in detail how to create such a graphic, but I think a rough idea is enough to create also such a bike graphic yourself. So start with a picture, remove the background, that's the first step. I don't need the background color because I already have a background on the frame, the nice green with the dollar signs, so I cut it out, the hair and the head, released Marilyn's head from the background and removed the background. Second step is the skin tone. I added some color to Marilyn's skin. It looks a bit creepy. I have removed the head so you can see only the skin tone layer. You can do it very fast with soft brushes in Photoshop. It don't need to be very accurate. You only have to add the right skin tone. It looks crazy with the loose tooth. And when you already set the layer to color, and it will be added to Marilyn's face, the black and white face, and I think that looks very nice. The next step is to add a shadow underneath the chin, and this shadow is necessary to combine the body with the head. I added some more of these details all over the body, but that's one of these details, and all the details work in the same way. I added also some more hair underneath the chin in 2 layers, a dark one and a light one. I will remove it again and add it again so you can see the difference. I use small brushes in Photoshop to paint the hair directly onto the existing graphic. Here you can see the difference, the photo, and this is my painted hair. Let's check out the body. And it's a body I used some years ago, but I don't like these nipple twisters, so I decided to use another symbol, a $sign, and I added a dollar over Marilyn's breast. The dollar is much bigger than in real life, but you have to imagine that the graphic is very small but very large to fit on a bike frame on the top tube, so the $sign must be also very large that somebody can identify it as a $sign, not as small pixels. So it's way bigger than a real dollar. It's like a sheet of paper in the real world, but in the graphic world of bike design, everybody can identify it as such a dollar. I added also a shadow underneath the dollar. We have the shadow underneath the chin, so we need also a shadow underneath the $sign to make it more realistic and to fit it into Marilyn's body. If you paint such a graphic, you need a very tall person, much taller than in real life. I like to show you how tall Marilyn is. In real life she's maybe 1.60 m I think, and my Marilyn in real life would be 2.20 m or 2.30 m. I enlarged the legs more than 1/3. I like to open another graphic and I like to show you the legs. These are the legs. I enlarged them before I added the body. Let's check the body, and I can turn them around to match them and to enlarge them. I added also some $signs underneath Marilyn as more symbols, and they are all single graphics. I can turn them around as I want. I combine them, add them, remove them until I think it looks good. I added also some shadow underneath every dollar, and that's the complete graphic of Marilyn I used for the cycle frame. When the graphic is ready in Photoshop, I turn to Illustrator to cut the graphic, and I cut Marilyn in half in 2 parts. It's easier to handle if you have 2 parts because the graphic is very large and it don't fit on such a sheet, the transfer sheet, so I have 2 parts on 1 sheet. It fits to the sheet and it's easy to handle. And that's all you have to do. You can combine different techniques. I combined a painting technique direct on paper, a digital technique of the $sign and the head, and that makes it easy to create such a graphic very fast. It's not how to do the graphic, it's how fast you can do the graphic if you are a professional artist. And I can create such a graphic in some hours, and if I paint it direct on the paper, I need 1 or 2 days to paint the $sign, and that's not necessary. If you have a nice $sign graphic, you can add it in a digital way and it looks the same way on the bike. So let's turn back to the bike and let's add Marilyn in the same way I have added the Empire State Building to the downtube. Marilyn is on, the skyline's already painted. Statue of Liberty is also on the frame, and what I like to do now is I like to add some more details to the Statue of Liberty. I have to spray the torch, the light beams of the torch, and some smaller light beams or rays around the statue that lights the statue up. So I have to remask the bottom and also the statue itself, and then I can spray the torch and some more light effects. I gave Marilyn some more details and also a drop shadow with the help of my little airbrush. And this drop shadow helps to connect the graphic of Marilyn with the frame color and the frame graphics, because the shadow gives the illusion as Marilyn stands in front of a wall like I do, and light came from the camera, and behind me or behind Marilyn there must be a shadow, and that's the shadow I sprayed on the frame. I like to give this frame also a little personal touch, and what I like are slogans. So I tried to find one that fits the frame and fits also the New York theme. And I found one that I love very much. It says, "Sure, your window faces a brick wall, but behind the brick wall is New York City." And I think that's all somebody can say about New York. And I arranged this slogan that it fits to the downtube underneath the Empire State Building and underneath all these brick walls. I will stick on this slogan, spray it in the same color of the Empire State, and after I have done that I can add some finish, some clear coat to the frame, and it's ready to hit the road and I can give it back to its customer.